The Killer is a 2024 American action thriller film directed by John Woo, a remake of his 1989 Hong Kong film. The film stars Nathalie Emmanuel, Omar Sy, Sam Worthington, Diana Silvers, Eric Cantona, and said Takami. It follows a young contract killer, who refuses to murder a blind woman on the orders of her handler, and then gets confronted by their old colleagues and a determined detective. An adaptation of The Killer was in development since the 1990s, with various screenwriters and directors being involved but did not materialize. Afterwards, John H. Lee was announced to direct the adaptation in 2007, with Woo serving as the producer, but not materialize until 2015, when Woo took over the directing duties from Lee owing to the latter's commitments on other projects. Universal Pictures officially announced the project in 2017, with contributions from Brian Helgeland, Josh Campbell, and Matt Stuecken providing the screenplay. The film underwent several casting and screenplay changes, with the main character's role being gender-swapped, and Lupita Nyong'o was originally announced to play the lead before being replaced by Emanuel. Principal photography commenced from May 2023 and concluded by February 2024, despite the month-long hiatus due to the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. The Killer was released in the United States by the streaming service Peacock on August 23, 2024. It received mixed reviews and received numerous nominations at the Taurus World Stunt Awards. Plot: Z is a professional hit woman living in Paris who is regularly employed by Finn, an Irishman working for crime lord Jules Gaubert, to eliminate Gaubert's rivals in the drug business. Her violent lifestyle has left her with few things to enjoy, including the friendship of an old high-class tailor named Tessie, who provides her with disguises for her jobs, keeping a goldfish, and solving crossword puzzles. In the underworld, she has become infamous as the Queen of the Dead. Finn contracts Z to kill the members of a drug gang from Marseille partying in a local nightclub where a young American singer named Jen Clark is performing. At about the same time, a police inspector named Say and his partner Jax try to arrest Jen's drug-dealing boyfriend Coco, but Coco escapes, injures Jax and takes a hostage, forcing Say to kill him. At the time of his death, Coco was listening to a demo recording of one of Jen's songs, leading Say onto Jen's trail. In spite of the gangsters receiving texts that Coco has been killed, Z eliminates them all, but in the carnage Jen hits the back of her head in a fall, causing her to go blind. Although obliged to kill all present, Z spares Jen as an uninvolved civilian. Upon learning this, Finn sends her to the hospital Jen is kept in to finish the job. Posing as a vice-consul from the US Embassy, Z gains access to Jen's room. Before Jen can be killed by the 4 drip Z has poisoned, Say enters to take Jen's statement about the nightclub murders, but due to her traumatic shock, Jen remembers little. Z pretends to accidentally knock over the 4 before it can kill Jen in front of Say. Say becomes suspicious of Z. Say connects Gaubert to a recent theft of a large load of heroin from Arabian Prince Majeb Ben Fahim, who is dealing with Gaubert. However, his investigations are stymied by his superiors, who fear its impact on their careers, especially since some of the gangsters involved in both crimes were dirty cops working for Gaubert. Additionally, it is revealed that Finn is responsible for the heroin theft since he intends to corner the Paris drug market for himself. Before Finn's thugs can assassinate Jen at the same hospital where Say is visiting Jax, Z arrives to take her to safety. During the resulting shootout, killing multiple staff and patients, Z and Say briefly meet face to face before Z escapes and takes Jen to her apartment. After Jen identifies Z as the killer from the nightclub, she reveals that she is not an uninvolved civilian, as she and Coco have stolen Ben Fahim's heroin shipment from its original thieves, thus having set off the subsequent string of murders. Z meets with Finn and lies that she has eliminated Jen, but Finn later learns the truth. Say tracks Z down and has her arrested, and while questioning her, he learns that she was involved in one of his earlier cases against another drug dealer, thereby saving his life. Z escapes custody, only to find that Jen has been kidnapped by Finn's men, and learns from Tessie that he was coerced by a cop to inform him when Z contacts him. Gobert demands of Finn to have Z assassinate Ben Fahim for his failure to deliver, but Finn has Gobert killed instead. Then he arranges for Say to be framed, forcing him to go into hiding, and tasks Z with eliminating him, promising her and Jen's freedom in return. However, when Z sees Say meeting Jax at the appointed place and one of Finn's assassins waiting to kill her after her hit, she realizes the setup, kills the assassin, exposes Jax as being on Finn's take, and teams up with Say to bring Finn down. They retrieve the heroin Jen had stolen and arrange an exchange of the drugs for Jen at an abandoned church. The meeting results in a violent fight between Z, Say, and Finn and his assassins, during which the drugs are destroyed by an explosive charge set by Say and Jen recovers her sight. As Finn prepares to kill Z, she distracts him with a silly question, allowing Say to slide her a gun which she uses to shoot Finn. After secretly watching Jen being reunited with her mother, she calls Say, telling him that she is planning to change her life, and they share a light-hearted goodbye. Cast: Nathalie Emmanuel as Z, Omar Sy as Say, Sam Worthington as Finn, Diana Silvers as Jen Clark, Said Takami as Prince Majeb Ben Fahim, Angelus Wu as Chi Mai, Eric Cantona as Jules Gobert, Chiqui Cario as Tessie, Gregory Montel as Jax, Hugo Diego Garcia as Coco, Michael Erpelding as Serge, Aurelia Agel as Juliet. Production. In 1992, American filmmaker Walter Hill and David Giler wrote a screenplay for TriStar Pictures titled The Killer that was dated April 6, 1992. The press release for this remake stated the script was written for actors Richard Gere and Denzel Washington. In June 1992, it was announced Walter Hill and Giler were writing a script titled Hong Kong based on The Killer with Hill directing. The producers had difficulty with the relationship between the two main characters in the script as they felt that American audiences would interpret it as a homoerotic one. Producer Terrence Chang, who worked with Wu on several productions, suggested to the American producers to have Hong Kong actress Michelle Yeoh play the role of the police officer to resolve any homoerotic reading of the film. A year later, screenwriters Jim Cash and Jack Epps, Jr. were hired by producers Charles Roven and Robert Cavallo to write a screenplay based on The Killer for TriStar, writing a third draft of the script dated on August 23, 1993, which featured a story of a Caucasian hitman living in Hong Kong. This screenplay moved the focus from the pairing of the hitman and the police detective characters to the characters of a blinded nightclub singer and the hitman. In October 2007, The Hollywood Reporter announced that a remake of The Killer was announced with Korean-American director John H. Lee directing. The remake would take place in Los Angeles' Koreatown, Chinatown, and South Central. Lee named The Killer as one of his favorite films and said he was excited to make his own version of the film. Lee's version was set to be produced by Wu, and star Young Woo-sung and shot in 3D. Seven Stars Film Studios was slated to finance the production with a screenplay by Josh Campbell. Sarah Lee was initially cast to play the role of the blind singer. Wu spoke about the remake in October 2015, stating that Lee's film was in development for some time and Lee eventually took on other projects. Wu commented in 2015 that he would return to Hollywood after filming Manhunt, 2017, in order to make an American adaptation of The Killer. Universal Pictures was announced to be developing the film with a script written by Aaron Creevy based on drafts by Josh Campbell and Matt Stuecken, with additional contributions by Brian Helgeland. Actress Lupita Nyong'o had been cast for the lead role. Wu said that filming would begin in January 2019. About the decision to flip both the gender and race of the lead, Nyong'o remarked that she did not see it coming, either, stating that she had received, read, and liked the script without having seen the original film. However, Wu told Deadline in November 2019 that Nyong'o had left the film due to scheduling conflicts as a result of a script rewrite. In May 2022, it was announced that the film would be directed by Wu, produced by Universal, and released exclusively on Peacock. 13 In August 2022, Universal announced that Omar Sy would lead the film as the cop character. 14 In March 2023, Nathalie Emmanuel was cast in the lead role. 15 Principal photography commenced 2 months later in Paris, but was halted due to 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. 16 Filming resumed in November after the strike ended and continued till February 2024. 16-17. Music. Main article, The Killer, 2024 soundtrack. Release. The film was released on Peacock on August 23, 2024. 18. Reception. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 59% of 59 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 5.8/10. The website's consensus reads, John Woo recaptures some of his legendary action bravura in this galaxic reimagining of his very own The Killer, although the kinetic set pieces don't quite compensate for the overall lack of personality. 19. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 60 out of 100, based on 18 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 20. Jesse Hassanger of The Guardian wrote, "There's nothing urgently necessary about a new version of The Killer. It humbly presents the optional but delightful spectacle of watching John Woo have fun again." 21. Bill Jebari of Vulture wrote, "This new Killer is loaded with action scenes, and they never feel phoned in or generic." 22. David Ehrlich of IndieWire wrote, "The Killer doesn't stray too broadly from the general structure of the original, but it applies such different pressure to each beat that it feels like a very different film." 23. Alton Barnhart of Slug stated that The Killer runs a bit long, and it's certainly nothing particularly new, but it's a fun guilty pleasure movie, while further adding, "If you can turn off your brain and view the movie as what it is, rather than holding it to the same standards as an original, then was quite groundbreaking for its time, it's a lively and diverting ride." 24. Pete Voke of Polygon said that despite the remake did not match the standards set by Woo's 1989 original, he added, "Woo uses the bare bones of the narrative and characters to make a new experience, one that feels like a throwback to his dual-wielding, dove-flapping days of yore, but with a fresh new spin on the action." 25. Vogue further complimented Emanuel's performance, particularly in the action sequences, calling that it provided her the chance to become a full-fledged action hero. 25. Julian Roman of MovieWeb stated that The Killer will disappoint if compared line by line to one of the greatest action films ever made. "It's difficult to do, but this film has to be viewed through an objective and dispassionate lens." 26. Jacob Aller of the AV Club wrote, "The Killer is evidence that action movies are fighting back, wrestling Woo into standardized submission. And yet, you still admire the romantic dedication the director has to filming acts of principled violence. Woo seems to embody his killer's notion that, though it's easy to pick up a gun, it's hard to put it back down." 27. Tara Bennett of Paste added that the remake certainly scratches a very particular action itch but doesn't come near besting the original. 28. Brian Tallarico of RogeRebert.com wrote, "John Woo movies used to strap you into your seat, making the rest of the world fall away as you appreciated their action artistry. That's just not the case here." 29. Siddhant Adlika of IGN said John Woo's Parasite remake of his 1989 Hong Kong classic The Killer not only fails to live up to the original's melodrama and slow-motion excitement, but it also falls flat in a modern action movie landscape whose most influential John is Wick. It has no soul or style, and creates no sense of chemistry between lead actors Omar Sy and Nathalie Emmanuel. They try their best to fill the movie's dead air with charm and anguish. Unfortunately, their best isn't enough. 30. Jordan Mintzer of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, "Woo got the ball rolling back in the late 80s and early 90s, but that ball has gotten bigger and faster, more violent and technically competent to the point that it seems to have rolled past him by now. If his new movie feels 25 years too late, it's also a reminder of what made the original so special in its day." Those who manage to discover the killer through this serviceable remake would be better off revisiting the one that started it all. 31. Jake Cole of Slant magazine wrote the 1989 movie understood the moral torpor barely hidden behind facades of professional honor, culminating in an agonizing finale that confronted its dubious heroes with the violent ends awaiting their violent lives. The remake, though, cops out, validating Z's self-absolving ethical denial with a more hopeful conclusion that, in context, feels dishonest and patronizing. Natalie Emmanuel, born March 2, 1989, is an English actress. Emmanuel began her acting career appearing in theater in the late 1990s, acquiring roles in various West End productions such as the musical The Lion King. In 2006, she began her on-screen career by starring as Sasha Valentine in soap opera Hollyoaks, after which she appeared in various British television series until her debut film appearance in 2012. Emmanuel gained wider recognition for her role as Missandei in the HBO fantasy series Game of Thrones, 2013 to 2019, and continued her career with supporting roles in the Maze Runner films, 2015 to 2018, the Fast and Furious films Furious 7, 2015, The Fate of the Furious, 2017, F9, 2021, and Fast X, 2023. She has since taken on lead roles in Army of Thieves, 2021, and Megalopolis, 2024. Early life. Emmanuel was born on March 2, 1989 in Southend-on-Sea, a city in Essex, England. Her mother is Dominican, and her father is of half St. Lucian and half English descent. She has an older sister. 4 Emmanuel recalled that her mother first took notice of her passion and desire to become an actress during Emmanuel's attendance at the private St. Hilda's School, which closed in 2014, and later the Westcliff High School for Girls Grammar School. 6 In an interview with the New York Daily News, she commented, "When I was 3, I'd always cause drama that my mum decided maybe I should channel it properly, so she started me on acting, singing and dancing classes." 7 At the age of 10, she played young Nala in the West End production of the musical The Lion King. 7. Career. Emmanuel speaking at the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con. In 2006, she made her television debut, starring as Sasha Valentine in the soap opera Hollyoaks. Emmanuel appeared on the show until 2010, her character's storylines included prostitution, and heroin addiction. 8, 9, 10. In January 2012, Emmanuel presented BBC Three's Web Sex, What's the Harm?, investigating the online sexual habits of 16 to 24-year-olds in the UK. 11 Later in the same year she made her film debut in the thriller 28K. 12, 13. The following year, she was cast as Missandei, Daenerys Targaryen's interpreter, in HBO's fantasy drama series Game of Thrones. 10 In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, she confirmed that she received the news about winning the role when she was working in a clothes store as a shop assistant. 14 In 2015, Emmanuel was promoted to a regular cast member on the show. 15 Missandei was the only prominent character that was a woman of color in the show, and her death scene, which took place whilst she was in chains, was unpopular among fans, being called an example of fridging and evoking an image of slavery. 16-17 Emanuel later told The Guardian 18. The reaction to Missandei's death was so big because she was the only one. I think a lot of the people who felt othered or disenfranchised had connected with her, or felt represented by her, especially women of color. When she died, and in the way that she did, it was so painful for people because they were like, wait, no. That's how they're going to do the only woman of color. Also in 2015, she played computer hacker Ramsey in the action film Furious 719, and Harriet in the science fiction adventure Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials. 2021 For the former Emmanuel won the Screen Nation Award for Best Female Performance in Film. 22 She played Harriet once again in the movie Maze Runner, The Death Cure in 2018. In 2017, Emanuel said that she learned the art of subtlety playing Miss Sandeity, and that as she was working on sound stages and with green screens when playing Ramsey, that role developed the use of her imagination when acting. 23 She reprised her role of Ramsey in The Fate of the Furious in 2017. 24 She played Ramsey again in F9, which was due to be released in May 2020, but was postponed until June 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 25-26 Emanuel at the 2019 German Comic-Con in Dortmund. Emanuel played Maya, a political speechwriter, in the romantic comedy television series Four Weddings and a Funeral for Hulu 2018 and was the voice of Deet in the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Netflix series, both released in 2019. 28 In July the following year, Emanuel co-starred opposite Kevin Hart and John Travolta in the Quibi original action comedy series Die Hard. 29 In May 2022, Emanuel joined the cast of Francis Ford Coppola's film, Megalopolis. 30 The same year, she starred alongside Thomas Doherty in the supernatural horror film The Invitation. 31 In the media, FHM ranked Emanuel as 99th in their 100 Sexiest Women of 2013, and 75th in their Sexiest Women of 2015. 32-33 In 2015, she also appeared in the April issue of InStyle and GQ. 34-35 Personal life. Emanuel follows a plant-based diet for health reasons, and told Glamour in 2017 that "I don't trust the food industry, I don't trust what they put in our belly, it makes me feel sick actually." Omar Sy, French pronunciation, Omar Sy, Fula, Romanized, Omar Sy, born January 20, 1978, is a French actor. Sy was initially best known in France for his comedy sketches with Fred Testo on the service Après 20 émissions television show on Canal+, 2005 to 2012. He gained wider international recognition for his role in the 2011 comedy drama film The Intouchables, which earned him the César Award for Best Actor, making him the first black recipient. He later appeared in larger productions such as X-Men, Days of Future Past, 2014, Jurassic World, 2015, Two is a Family, 2016, Chocolate, 2016, Inferno, 2016, Transformers, The Last Night, 2017, Arctic Dogs, 2019, the Netflix-produced series Lupin, 2021, Present, Jurassic World Dominion, and The Takedown, 2022. 2. Early life and family. The fourth of 8 children. Omar Sy was born on January 20, 1978 in Trappes in the Yvelines department of the Île-de-France region. 2. Both his parents are immigrants from West Africa. 3. His Mauritanian mother, Diaratu, worked as a house cleaner, and his Senegalese father, Demba, worked in an auto parts factory. 3. After moving from Bakel to France in 1962. Sy is of Fulani origin. 4. He was raised in a habitation à Loyer Motora 3-4 in Trappes. The family visited Senegal every other summer and spoke Pulaar at home. 5. Sy is the uncle of actor Alas Sain Diong. 6. Career. Omar Sy winning the César Award for Best Actor in 2012 at the 37th César Awards for The Intouchables. Sy began his career after high school in 1996 for working at Radio Nova, where he met his comedy partner Fred Testo. 2. Afterwards, he appeared in the TV show Le Cinéma de Jamal on Canal+ with Jamal Debbouze. He then created a TV show called Le Visiophone. 2. Following these roles, he appeared in various TV and stage shows such as Jene Fais pas mon age and Omar et Fred, Le Spectacle. Most notably, Sy co-hosted Service Après 20 émissions, a French short comedy television series, with Testo from 2005 to 2012 on Canal Plus until it was cancelled. He appeared in the television game show Fort Boyard in 2006. SY then went to Los Angeles, where he lent his voice to Zip in the French version of the Tomb Raider Legend video game. He previously had also voiced a sheep in Disney's Brother Bear 2. In 2008, he appeared in Bienvenue chez les Bilkas, a video clip by Cynic. In 2009, he voiced some of the characters of Logorama with his partner Fred Testo. In 2011, SY starred in The Intouchables, playing a streetwise young man who becomes the personal care assistant to a wealthy quadriplegic, played by François Clouzet. The film enjoyed tremendous success, topping the French box office in 2011 and becoming the best-selling French film of all time in its native country, with more than 19 million tickets sold. As a result, SY was voted third favorite French personality behind Yannick Noah and Zinedine Zidane. The role earned him the 2012 Globe de Cristal for Best Actor. He also received a nomination for a Satellite Award for Best Actor. 7. He and co-star François Clouzet were jointly bestowed the Best Actor Award at the Tokyo International Film Festival. Additionally, he won the César Award for Best Actor in 2012 for the same film. On December 30, 2012, SY was voted the favorite personality in France, based on a poll by Le Journal du Dimanche, ahead of fellow actor Gad Elmaleh. In 2014, SY appeared in X-Men: Days of Future Past, playing the character Bishop. He also starred in Samba, directed by Eric Toledano and Olivier Nakachi. He co-starred in the fourth installment of the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World 2, released in June 2015. 8. In 2015, alongside Bradley Cooper, he played a compromised chef in Burnt. In 2017, he voiced the character Hot Rod in the film Transformers: The Last Knight, the fifth installment in the Transformers series. In 2021, he starred in Netflix's hit series Lupin, a modern-day retelling of Arsène Lupin novels. 9. 10. Lupin has become one of the most watched non-English series on Netflix. More recently, SY has signed a multi-year feature film deal with Netflix. 11. In 2021, he was included on the Time 100 Times annual list of the most influential people in the world. 12. Most recently, SY signed a first-look deal with HBO Max to develop a series for multiple markets, especially French-speaking ones. 13. Personal life. Growing up in Trappes, SY became friends with fellow actor Jamal Debbouze and professional footballer Nicolas Anelka. 14. On July 5, 2007, SY married Hélène, the mother of his 5 children, for 15 in Tremblay-sur-Maldre. They had been together for 10 years before they got married. 15. Hélène runs Sakijabonheur, a non-profit supporting children's wards at French hospitals, and Siyat Organics, a Senegalo-American organic food supplements company. 16. The family resided in Montfort-et-la-Maurie, a commune of Ile-de-France 15 before moving to Los Angeles in 2012. After moving to Los Angeles, SY met with a language tutor daily and watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians to improve his English. 17. SY is a Muslim. 318. SY is a supporter of Olympique de Marseille. 19. He signed an October 2023 open letter of artists for ceasefire during the Israeli bombardment of Gaza. 20. Business ventures. In June 2025, SY became a co-owner of French basketball club Paris Basketball of LNB Elite, alongside David Condot. Diana Silvers, born November 3, 1997, is an American actress, singer, and model, best known for playing Erin Naird in the comedy series Space Force, 2020 to 2022. Early life. Silvers was born in Los Angeles on November 3, 1997. One better source needed: her mother is Swiss and her father is of Romanian Jewish descent. 2. She has 4 older siblings and 1 younger sibling. 3. She began attending theater camps at age 12 after watching the film What's Eating Gilbert Grape and decided to pursue a career in acting. By 2014, she was attending the Palisades Charter High School, where she played tennis. 4. She attended New York University to study acting, but changed her major to history with a minor in film and later dropped out during her junior year. 5. 6. Career. Silvers started modeling in her teens. She was scouted by IMG Models in 2015 in her senior year of high school, and continued modeling through her time at NYU to pay for her studies. 5. 7. In 2019, she closed Stella McCartney's Autumn Show. 8. Silvers made her acting debut in a 2018 episode of the Hulu thriller series Into the Dark and proceeded to appear in M. Night Shyamalan's film Glass, 2019. 9. She auditioned for the horror film Ma, 2019, while in college, and got the role despite believing she had botched her audition. In Ma, she portrays Maggie, whose friends befriend the main character who soon begins terrorizing them. Silvers got the script for Booksmart, 2019, while filming Ma and was initially asked to audition for the main character's crush, but auditioned for the character of Hope instead. 6. In October 2018, it was reported that Silvers had been cast in the action movie Eve, later retitled Ava. 10. In September 2019, it was announced that Silvers was cast as Erin Naird in the Netflix comedy series Space Force, 2020 to 2022. 11. She also starred in Sarah Adina Smith's 2021 film Birds of Paradise for Amazon. Said Takami, Arabic, born July 19, 1973, is a French actor. One of his major screen roles was that of Said in the 1995 French film La Haine, directed by Matthew Kassovitz. Takami has also appeared in a number of English-language films, with roles such as Captain Said in Three Kings, 1999, Breaker in G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, 2009, Samir in Wonder Woman, 2017, and The Elder in John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, 2019. Early life. Said Takami was born in Villepinte, Saint-Denis, into a large family comprising 8 children. He had 4 brothers and 3 sisters. 1. 2. His parents were Moroccan immigrants of Berber ancestry from Essaouira. 2. Takami grew up in the Rose de Vence quartier of the Aulnay-sous-Bois commune. 3. He dropped out of school to become a boxer, rising as high as number 2 in his weight class in France. 4. Career. He later met actor and director Matthew Kassovitz. Together, they appeared in Kassovitz's film La Haine, 1995, whose plot concerns race and violence in the ghettoized banlieues of Paris. The following year, Takami was nominated for a César Award, in the Most Promising Actor category, for his performance. He has since pursued an international career, appearing in films in Germany, Italy, Morocco, and the United States. Three Kings, 1999. Takami starred in Vantage Point, 2008, as Suarez, the leader of a terrorist group plotting to kidnap the United States president. In Morocco, he appeared in Jinns, 2010, a film about the Algerian War, alongside Thierry Fremont. 3. Takami's television work includes Lost, House of Saddam and Touch. He appeared in the British film My Brother the Devil, which was released globally in 2013. Personal life. Takami is a practicing Muslim. 5. He moved to the United States in 1999, and in 2008, obtained American citizenship. Eric Daniel Pierre Cantona, French, Eric for pronounced Eric Dan. Jelp.J.K.2.Na, born May 24, 1966, is a French former professional footballer who is currently an actor. In his football career, Cantona was a physically strong and technically skillful player with both creative and goal-scoring ability. Mostly utilized as a deep-lying forward, he was also capable of playing as a center forward, as a dedicated striker, as an attacking midfielder, or as a central midfielder. Regarded as one of the greatest players of his generation, he was named by Pelé in the FIFA 100 list of the world's greatest living players in 2004. 5-6-7. Cantona played for Auxerre, Martigues, Marseille, Bordeaux, Montpellier, Nîmes and Leeds United, before ending his career at Manchester United, with whom he won 4 Premier League titles in 5 years, including 2 League and FA Cup doubles. He wore the iconic number 7 shirt at Manchester United and was known for turning up his collar. He is affectionately nicknamed King Eric by Manchester United fans. Cantona won league championships in England and France in 7 of his last 8 full seasons as a professional, and at least 1 trophy in 8 of his last 9. At international level, he played for the France national team and scored 20 goals in 45 matches. He appeared at UEFA Euro 1992 and, in preparation for Euro 96, was appointed captain in 1994. In 2003, Cantona was voted as Manchester United's greatest ever player by Inside United magazine. He was an inaugural inductee into the English Football Hall of Fame in 2002. At the Premier League 10 Seasons Awards in 2003, he was voted the Overseas Player of the Decade. Cantona was inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame in 2021. Charismatic and outspoken, Cantona's achievements in football were set against fallings out with coaches and teammates, and a poor disciplinary record throughout his career, including a 1995 conviction for an assault on an abusive spectator, for which he received a 2-week prison sentence, reduced to community service on appeal, and an 8-month suspension from football, preventing him from participating at Euro 96. In 1997, Cantona unexpectedly announced his retirement from football just before his 31st birthday. He then moved into a career in cinema, including roles in the films Elizabeth, 1998, French film, 2008, and The Killer, 2024. In 2010, he debuted as a stage actor in Face au Paradis, a play directed by his wife, Riccarda Brani. 8. Cantona took an interest in the sport of beach soccer. As player-manager of the France national beach soccer team, he won the 2005 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup. Early life. Eric Daniel Pierre Cantona 9 was born in Marseille on May 24, 1966, the son of dressmaker Eleanor Rorich and nurse and painter Albert Cantona. 11, 12, 13. His mother was Spanish and came from Barcelona. 14, 15. While his paternal grandfather was Italian and had emigrated to Marseille from Ozieri in Sardinia. 16. While fighting the armies of General Franco in the Spanish Civil War in 1938, Cantona's maternal grandfather, Pierre Rorich, suffered a serious injury to his liver and had to retreat to France for medical treatment with his wife. They stayed in Saint-Priest, Ardèche, before settling in Marseille. 17. Club career. Early career. Cantona began his football career with Socal Lolé, his local team, and one that had produced such talent as Roger Jouvet and had players such as Jean Tigana and Christophe Galtier within its ranks. Originally, Cantona began to follow in his father's footsteps and often played as a goalkeeper, but his creative instincts began to take over and he would play up front more and more often. In his time with Socal Lolé, Cantona played in more than 200 matches. 18-19. Auxerre. Cantona's first professional club was Auxerre, where he spent 2 years in the youth team before making his debut on November 5, 1983, in a 4-0 league victory over Nancy. 20. In 1984 his footballing career was put on hold as he carried out his national service. On May 14, 1985, Cantona scored his first goal for Auxerre, scoring an open goal to put his team 2-0 up against Rouen in an important match to put pressure on AS Monaco. 21. On the final match day of the season, Auxerre played Strasbourg, with Auxerre needing 1 point to secure qualification for the following season's UEFA Cup. 1-0 down at halftime, Cantona scored the equalizing goal from 25 yards out and showed his talent to a wider audience for the first time. 22. After his discharge he was loaned out to Martigues 20 in the French 2nd Division before rejoining Auxerre and signing a professional contract in 1986. His performances in the 1st Division earned him his first full international cap. The following year, Cantona was again in trouble because of a dangerous kung fu tackle on Nantes player Michel de Zakarian, resulting in a 3-month suspension. This was later reduced to a 2-month suspension as his club Auxerre threatened to make the player unavailable for selection in the national team. He was part of the France under-21 side that won the 1988 U21 European Championship, scoring a hat-trick in a quarter-final against the England under-21 side 23, and shortly after he transferred to Marseille for a French record fee, FF22M. 24. Cantona had grown up as a Marseille fan. Citation needed. Marseille. In January 1989 during a friendly game against Torpedo Moscow he kicked the ball at the crowd, then ripped off and threw away his shirt after being substituted. His club responded by banning him for a month. Just a few months earlier, he had been banned from international matches for 1 year after insulting the national coach Henri Michel on TV. 25. Loans to Bordeaux and Montpellier. This section of a biography of a living person does not include any references or sources. Please help by adding reliable sources. Contentious material about living persons that is unsourced or poorly sourced must be removed immediately, especially if potentially libelous or harmful. February 2024, learn how and when to remove this message. Having struggled to settle at Marseille, Cantona moved to Bordeaux on a 6-month loan and then to Montpellier on a year-long loan. At Montpellier, he was involved in a fight with teammate Jean-Claude Limault and threw his boots in Limault's face. The incident led to 6 players demanding that Cantona be sacked, but with the support of teammates such as Laurent Blanc and Carlos Valderrama, the club retained his services, although they banned him from the ground for 10 days. Cantona was instrumental as the team went on to win the French Cup and his form persuaded Marseille to take him back. Return to Marseille, transfer to Nîmes. Back at Marseille, Cantona initially played well under coach Gérard Gilly and his successor Franz Beckenbauer. However, the Marseille chairman Bernard Tapie was not satisfied with the results and replaced Beckenbauer with Raymond Goethals. Cantona was continually at odds with Goethals and Tapie and, despite helping the team win the French Division 1 title, he was transferred to Nîmes the following season, for a fee of 10 million francs, signing a 3-year contract. 26. In December 1991, during a match for Nîmes, he threw the ball at the referee, having been angered by one of his decisions. He was summoned to a disciplinary hearing by the French Football Federation and was banned for 1 month. Cantona responded by walking up to members of the hearing committee in turn and calling each of them an idiot. His ban was increased to 2 months and Cantona subsequently announced his retirement from football on December 16, 1991. 27. The France national team coach, Michel Platini, was a fan of Cantona and persuaded him to make a comeback. On the advice of Gérard Houllier as well as his psychoanalyst, he moved to England to restart his career. My psychoanalyst advised me not to sign for Marseille and recommended that I should go to England. 28. Departure and move to England. On November 6, 1991, after Liverpool's 3-0 victory over Auxerre in a UEFA Cup second round, second leg tie at Anfield, Liverpool manager Graham Souness was met by Frenchman Michel Platini at the end of the game, who told him that Cantona was available for sale to Liverpool. Souness thanked Platini, but declined the offer, citing dressing room harmony as his reason. After being turned down by Liverpool, Cantona was given a trial at Sheffield Wednesday when Wednesday manager Trevor Francis was approached by Platini and Francis' former agent, Dennis Roche. In a 2012 interview Francis explained that he had agreed to take Cantona on as a favor to Roche and Platini, who he knew from his time playing in Italy, and that it was intended as an opportunity for Cantona to put himself in the shop window. Wednesday had only recently been promoted back to the top flight, with most of the squad still being on second division level wages, and the club could not afford to sign him. Cantona spent 2 days with Wednesday, training, and playing in an indoor tournament at Sheffield Arena. 29. Leeds United. 1991-92 season. Cantona's arrival at Leeds United was announced in January 1992. Leeds would pay £100,000 to Nîmes to take him on loan until April 15, after which they would have to pay another £900,000 to sign him permanently. 30. Cantona made his debut for Leeds in a 2-0 loss at Oldham Athletic on February 8, 1992. 31. At Leeds, he was part of the team that won the final Football League First Division title before it was replaced by the Premier League as the top division in English football. He made 15 appearances, and despite only scoring 3 goals, he contributed to their title success, primarily with assists for leading goal scorer Lee Chapman. Cantona scored his first goal for Leeds in a 2-0 win at home to Luton Town on February 29 and set up the other goal for Chapman. 32. Having played little football in the 6 weeks before signing for Leeds, Cantona struggled to find a place in an established lineup, with manager Howard Wilkinson preferring to put him on against tiring defences. Against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane on March 7, Cantona came off the bench to set up a goal for Gary McAllister, securing a win that moved Leeds 2 points ahead of Manchester United, who had a game in hand, in the title race. 33. Cantona was deployed as a part of a front three, along with Chapman and Rod Wallace, in a 5-1 thrashing of Wimbledon at Elland Road on March 14, scoring Leeds' 4th goal of the game. 34. Leeds' title ambitions survived the difficult tests of Arsenal at Highbury, a 1-1 draw with Cantona denied a late winner by David Seaman, and West Ham, a 0-0 draw with Cantona being denied a first-half goal through a dubious offside decision. However, they lost 4-0 to Manchester City on 4 April at Main Road, allowing Manchester United to take pole position in the title race again. 35. Against Chelsea on April 11, Cantona came on for Wallace with 20 minutes to go and Leeds leading 1-0. He then set up Chapman's 20th goal of the season before rounding off the scoring with a lob over Chelsea defender Paul Elliott. 2 days later, Wilkinson announced that Leeds intended to complete Cantona's transfer from Nîmes for £900,000. Cantona was paid a generous £7,000 a week, a huge cost in an era without television or European football revenue. 36. Starting with that Chelsea match, Leeds went unbeaten in their final 5 games, securing the league title on the penultimate weekend with a 3-2 win over Sheffield United after Manchester United had lost to Liverpool. 1992-93 season. In the 1992 FA Charity Shield that August, with Leeds missing several key players, Cantona scored a hat-trick in a 4-3 victory over Liverpool 37, the first hat-trick in the Charity Shield since Tommy Taylor in 1957. 38. Cantona's hat-trick places him among the small group of players to have scored 3 or more goals in games at Wembley Stadium. Leeds started their title defence with a 2-1 win over Wimbledon on August 15. Cantona started alongside Chapman up front, but had a quiet game, although he did pick up his first yellow card in English football, after 17 games. 39. After Cantona scored his first league goal of the season in a 4-1 defeat at Middlesbrough and followed it up with another hat-trick, the first in the newly created Premier League in a 5-0 win over Tottenham on August 25. 40. Cantona then flew to Paris to join the France national team for a friendly against Brazil on the very same day, due to newly installed manager Gerard Houlier's desire to have the whole squad present for his first match. 41. Leeds slipped towards mid-table with a pair of 2-2 draws despite excellent performances by Cantona, drawing 2 excellent saves from a young David James against fellow title challengers Liverpool on August 29 and scoring a brace against Oldham Athletic 3 days later. Leeds then fell 2-0 to Manchester United at Old Trafford on September 6, with Cantona coming off the bench and nearly scoring with a bicycle kick. 42. Leeds' first foray into the European Cup since 1974-75 started poorly with a 3-0 defeat at Stuttgart on September 16. Cantona, struggling with a hamstring injury, had a pass intercepted that led to Stuttgart's opening goal, exacerbating a growing rift with manager Wilkinson. 43 Cantona missed the next two games, a 1-1 draw at Southampton and a 4-1 win over Scunthorpe United in the League Cup, through injury, but returned immediately to help Leeds win their first league game in 6, a 2-0 victory over Everton on September 26. 44. 4 days later, Leeds faced Stuttgart in the return leg of the European Cup. Dubbed the Mission Impossible, Cantona and Gordon Strachan combined to set up Gary Speed, who scored with a left-footed volley. Andreas Buck equalized for Stuttgart in the 34th minute, the away goal meaning that Leeds needed another 4 to progress. McAllister scored a penalty just before half-time to make it 2-1 to Leeds before Cantona's looping shot in the 66th minute was deflected into his own net by Gunther Schaefer. Chapman's header at the near post made it 4-1 in the 78th minute, but Stuttgart remained firm and denied Leeds the decisive fifth goal. However, Leeds received a stroke of luck when it emerged after the match that Stuttgart's coach, Christoph Daum, had fielded 4 foreign players, one more than allowed. Leeds were awarded a 3-0 victory by UEFA, and a play-off match was ordered at the neutral Camp Nou in Barcelona on October 9. 45. An exhausted Leeds then stumbled to a 4-2 defeat at Ipswich Town, with Cantona's form dipping through fatigue and injury. He had a poor game as Leeds won the play-off against Stuttgart 2-1. 46. A return to national duty then saw Cantona and Jean-Pierre Papin score in a 2-0 victory over Austria. 47. He brought his revived form back to England, helping in a 3-1 victory against Sheffield United in October. This game would, however, be Cantona's last win while with Leeds. Leeds were drawn against Rangers in the European Cup, a tie billed as the Battle of Britain by the press. 48. Despite McAllister's first-minute goal, Cantona and Leeds struggled and fell 2-1 amid a hostile Ibrox crowd. Cantona walked straight to the dressing room after being substituted, which was interpreted by Wilkinson as disrespectful to the other players. Leeds also lost the return leg 2-1, Rangers scoring through Mark Hateley and Ali McCoist, before Cantona scored a late consolation goal. In between the two games, Cantona was an unused substitute when Leeds travelled to Queen's Park. Rangers, as Wilkinson, favouring a more direct approach, found no room for him. Leeds lost 2-1, with Cantona leaving for France after being granted leave on the morning of the match. 49. Wallace was preferred to start over Cantona in a fighting 2-2 draw at home to Coventry City. Managing just one win in 4, Leeds' title defence had imploded in October, just as Arsenal's had in the previous season. Cantona did, however, start in the 4-0 defeat at Manchester City on November 7, but put in a hapless performance along with the rest of the team. Cantona was then guilty of 2 dreadful misses as Watford knocked them out of the League Cup on November 10. Despite suffering along with his team, Wilkinson, rather than Cantona, was held responsible, after having to reinvigorate a side with a number of aging stars. Despite Cantona scoring, with his shoulder, for France against Finland 4 days later, Wilkinson kept him out of the team, citing an unconvincing excuse of a groin strain, as Leeds pulled off an improbable but resounding 3-0 win over Arsenal, ending the Gunners' 6-game winning run. 50. Furious at being dropped, Cantona refused to report for training and faxed a transfer request to the club on November 24, stating a preference to join Manchester United, Liverpool or Arsenal. 51. Manchester United. Transfer from Leeds United. The news of Cantona's impending transfer from Leeds to fierce rivals Manchester United was met with hostility from Leeds fans. The transfer was, however, seen as a good piece of business by most football pundits, removing a turbulent player from the team. 52. Cantona left Leeds for Manchester United for £1 million on November 26, 1992. Leeds chairman Bill Fotherby had telephoned Manchester United chairman Martin Edwards to inquire about the availability of Dennis Irwin. Edwards was in a meeting with manager Alex Ferguson at the time, and both agreed that Irwin was not for sale. Ferguson had identified that his team was in need of a striker, having failed to secure the services of Alan Shearer that summer, and after new signing Dion Dublin was injured a few games into the season, had failed in his attempts to sign David Hirst, Matt Le Tissier and Brian Dean. Ferguson instructed his chairman to ask whether Cantona was for sale. Fotherby had to consult with Wilkinson, but within a few days the deal was complete. 53. 1992-93 season. Cantona illuminated Old Trafford. The place was a frenzy every time he touched the ball. Former Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson. 54. Cantona had arrived too late to register to play in United's 1-0 win at Arsenal on November 28, but was in the crowd at Highbury as his new team secured a vital win. He made his first appearance for the club on December 1, 1992 in a friendly match against Benfica in Lisbon to mark Eusebio's 50th birthday, wearing the number 10 shirt. He made his competitive debut as a second-half substitute against Manchester City at Old Trafford on December 6. United won 2-1, though Cantona made little impact that day. The Frenchman waltzed into the Cliff, United's old training ground, and had teammates in his thrall with barely a word. In his first season, the first of the Premier League era, he cultivated what would become the hallmarks of United for 2 decades: attacking football, ingenuity, aggression, and an utter insistence on winning. As Paul Ince recalled, he just had that aura and presence. He took responsibility away from us. It was like he said, "I'm Eric, and I'm here to win the title for you." 442 magazine, How Cantona Transformed Manchester United, the Premier League, and A Christmas Carol. 55. United's season had been disappointing up to Cantona's signing. A shortage of goals and a recent 7-match winless run had seen United fall behind the likes of big-spending Aston Villa and Blackburn Rovers in the race for the first Premier League title, as well as surprise challengers including Norwich City and Queen's Park Rangers. Goal scoring had been a problem since the halfway point of the previous season, when it had cost them the league title as they suffered defeats or were held to draws against teams they had been expected to beat. 55. Ferguson had first tried to sign Alan Shearer from Southampton during the 1992 close season, but lost out to Blackburn Rovers. He then spent £1 million on Dion Dublin, who suffered a broken leg a few games into the season and was out of action for 6 months. A £3 million bid for Sheffield Wednesday striker David Hirst was turned down, and by November 7, United were 10th in the Premier League. 55. Cantona quickly settled into the team, slotting in alongside Mark Hughes, while Brian McClair was switched to central midfield. Cantona contributed greatly to a quick upturn in the team's fortunes, not only scoring goals but also creating chances for the other players. His first United goal came in a 1-1 draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on December 19, 1992, and his second came on Boxing Day in a 3-3 draw against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough, where they claimed a point after being 3-0 down. However, controversy was never far away, and on his return to Elland Road to play Leeds a few weeks later, he spat at a Leeds fan who taunted him and was fined £1,000 by the Football Association. 25-56 United only lost twice in the league after Cantona's arrival and finished the season 10 points clear at the top of the table, finishing as champions for the first time in 26 years, which made Cantona the first player to win consecutive English top division titles with different clubs. He had won a domestic league title with different clubs for 3 successive seasons, having helped Marseille win the French league title in 1991. 1993-94 season. Collar turned up, back straight, chest stuck out, Eric glided into the arena as if he owned the place. Former Manchester United teammate Roy Keane. 54. United retained the Premier League in 1993-94, topping the table for virtually the entire season, and Cantona's 2 penalties helped them to a 4-0 win over Chelsea in the 1994 FA Cup final. He also collected a runners-up medal in the Football League Cup, which the team lost 3-1 to Aston Villa. He was also voted PFA Player of the Year for that season and finished as United's top scorer with 25 goals in all competitions. However, the season was not without its moments of controversy. Cantona was sent off as the team exited the Champions League against Galatasaray and was also dismissed in successive league games in March 1994, firstly against Swindon Town and then against Arsenal. The two successive red cards saw Cantona banned for 5 matches, including an FA Cup semi-final clash with Oldham Athletic, which United drew 1-1. Cantona was available for the replay and helped them win 4-1. 1993-94 was the first season of squad numbers in the Premier League. Cantona was issued with the number 7 shirt, a squad number he kept for the rest of his United career and that already had iconic status, having previously been worn by club legends including George Best and Brian Robson. 57. However, squad numbers were not yet set for Champions League matches, or in domestic cup ties against lower division sides, and Cantona wore the number 9 shirt in the 4 fixtures home and away against Kispest and Galatasaray. On December 19, 1993, he scored 2 against Aston Villa, the previous season's runners-up, in a 3-1 victory that put United 13 points clear at the top of the league. They extended their lead to 16 points soon after and eventually finished 8 points ahead of runners-up Blackburn. Cantona was United's top scorer with 26 goals in all competitions. He also won the PFA Player of the Year award. 58. 1994-95 season, Kung Fu incident and ban from football. In the 1994-95 season, United were in the hunt for a 3rd successive league title, and for the first half of the season, things went smoothly enough for player and club. The season began with a 2-0 Wembley win over Blackburn in the Charity Shield, in which Cantona scored a penalty. 59. Cantona frequently scored for Manchester United, who once again battled for the title against a Blackburn side that led the table for much of the season, particularly with a 4-2 win at Ewood Park in late October, in which Cantona was on the score sheet. He was also on the score sheet in a memorable 5-0 derby win over Manchester City in November. On January 22, 1995, he scored the winning goal in a 1-0 home win over Blackburn that made the title race even tighter and brought Cantona's tally of league goals for that season to 12. He scored a further goal in an FA Cup third-round win at Sheffield United earlier that month, fueling talk of a second successive title. The arrival of striker Andy Cole from Newcastle United on January 10 further boosted these hopes, even though Cole was cup-tied for FA Cup fixtures. 60. On January 25, 1995, he was involved in an incident that attracted headlines and controversy worldwide. 61-62-63 in an away match against Crystal Palace, Cantona was sent off by the referee for kicking Palace defender Richard Shaw, after Shaw had frustrated Cantona throughout the game by closely marking him. 61 As he was walking towards the tunnel, Cantona launched a kung fu style kick into the crowd, directed at Palace supporter Matthew Simmons, who had run down 11 rows of stairs to confront and shout abuse at Cantona. Simmons was alleged to have used the words "fuck off back to France, you French bastard." 61 Cantona followed the kick with a series of punches. 63-64-65. At a press conference called later, Cantona said, in a slow and deliberate manner, "When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much." Cantona's brief, much publicized, statement. 66. Cantona then got up from his seat and abruptly left, leaving behind him a packed media room surprised and baffled. Some roared with laughter, with those in the room trying to decipher his cryptic words. 62-66. Cantona was faced with a criminal charge of assault, which he admitted to on March 23, resulting in a 2-week prison sentence, although he was freed on bail pending an appeal. 67 This was overturned in the appeal court a week later and instead he was sentenced to 120 hours of community service, which was spent coaching children at United's training ground. 68 The fan who was attacked by Cantona, Matthew Simmons, went on trial separately a year later, and claimed that he only shouted off, off, off. It's an early bath for you, Mr. Cantona, but was found guilty of abusive behavior and handed a £500 fine and banned from the stadium for a year, having already had his season ticket withdrawn by Crystal Palace within days of the incident. Immediately after the verdict was proclaimed, Simmons then assaulted prosecutor Geoffrey McCann, for which he was sentenced to a week in jail, plus an additional £500 fine as well as £200 in legal costs. 6970. As well as criminal proceedings, there was also disciplinary action from his club and the FA. A lengthy ban from the game was regarded as inevitable, with some critics calling for Cantona to be deported and never allowed to play football in England again, while others called for him to be banned from football for life. 63-64-65. In accordance with the FA's wishes, United's initial action was to fine Cantona £20,000 for the assault and to confirm that he would not play for the first team for the rest of the season, although United were still in the hunt for a second double. 71-72. The FA then increased the ban to 8 months, up to and including September 30, 1995, and fined him a further £10,000. 73. The FA chief executive Graham Kelly described his attack as a stain on our game that brought shame on football. FIFA then confirmed the suspension as worldwide, meaning that Cantona could not escape the ban by being transferred or loaned to a foreign club. 74. He was stripped of the captaincy of the France national team by coach Aimé Jacquet, and never played for the France national team again, and his club lost the title to Blackburn Rovers. 75-61-76. There had been media speculation that Cantona would leave United to play for a foreign club when his suspension finished, and many observers felt he would not be able to cope with the inevitable goading from rival players and supporters once his suspension finished. Ferguson persuaded him to stay in Manchester, despite interest from Italian club Inter Milan, who had managed to lure his teammate Paul Ince to Italy that summer. 77. Even after signing his new contract, Cantona was frustrated by the terms of his ban, which did not even allow him to play in friendly matches behind closed doors. On August 8, he handed in a request for his contract to be terminated, as he no longer wanted to play football in England. This came after United had been censured by the FA for fielding Cantona in a match against another club at the club's training ground, which was defined as a friendly match despite the club organizing the match as being within the context of training, as his suspension allowed him to play in this type of match only. The request was turned down, and 2 days later, following a meeting in Paris with Ferguson, he declared that he would remain at the club. In 2011, Cantona said that the attack on Simmons was a great feeling and a memory he is happy for fans to treasure, but it was a mistake. 78. In 2002, the notoriety of the Kung Fu kick saw it ranked number 12 on Channel 4's poll of the 100 greatest sporting moments. 79. In retrospect, Simmons' behavior that provoked Cantona's kick would a decade later be regarded as racial abuse, which almost certainly would have forced the partial or full closure of Crystal Palace's stadium, as well as meriting Simmons a considerably lengthier sentence. 80. More recently, when Paul Pogba's Manchester United teammate Marcus Rashford was racially abused on social media. 81. And ex-footballer Garth Crook said that if something drastic is not done soon, there could be an incident between a player and a fan, similar to Cantona's Kung Fu kick on the offensive fan in 1995. 82. 1995-96 season. The Puppet of Cantona, which appeared on the British satirical puppet show Spitting Image during the 1990s. In his comeback game against arch-rivals Liverpool on October 1, 1995, Cantona set up a goal for Nicky Butt 2 minutes into the game and then scored a penalty to secure a point for United in a 2-2 home draw. 83-84. However, 8 months without competitive football had taken its toll, and Cantona struggled for form in his first 3 months back in action. By December 24, the gap between United and league leaders Newcastle had increased to 10 points and eventually 12. 85. However, Cantona recaptured his form in the new year. During January 1996, the gap between United and the leaders stretched to 12 points, but the comeback began when Cantona scored the winning goal at West Ham, and shortly afterwards Cantona excelled on his first visit to Selhurst Park since he was banned 86, during which he scored twice in a 4-2 win over Wimbledon. 87 victory over Arsenal on March 20, with Cantona scoring the only goal of the game with a 25-yard half volley, saw United overtake Newcastle in the title race, where they remained for the rest of the season, with Cantona having already scored the winner at Newcastle earlier that month. 88 The goal came as part of a personal scoring run of 6 consecutive league matches for Cantona, 4 of which saw him score the game's only goal. 89 He scored the 5th in a 5-0 win over Nottingham Forest on the penultimate day of the season, a result that meant that United realistically only needed to avoid defeat at Middlesbrough on the final day. They won 3-0 to secure their third league title in 4 years. Cantona finished the season as the club's top scorer with 14 goals from 30 league appearances. United had suffered just one defeat after the turn of the year. Cantona's ban meant he was not eligible to appear in either of their UEFA Cup fixtures, nor the first leg of their League Cup second-round tie, but he did score in 4 of United's 6 matches on the way to the 1996 FA Cup final against Liverpool, their third in a row in the competition. In the absence of regular captain Steve Bruce due to injury, Cantona wore the armband for the final and took on the captain's responsibility by volleying in the only goal of the game from the edge of the penalty area in the 86th minute after Liverpool had failed to clear a corner. 90 United's victory made them the first club to win the double twice and Cantona the first FA Cup winning captain from outside the British Isles. 1996-97 season. The terrace chant of Oa Cantona, sung with such fervour by the Manchester United faithful whenever their French hero scored, looks set to become a trademark. Following retirement, in May 1997 Cantona has his chant, and Cantona 7, patented as commercial trademarks. 91. Cantona was named as United's captain for the 1996-97 season following the departure of Bruce to Birmingham City. United retained the league in the 1996-97 season. Cantona had won 4 league titles in 5 years with the team, and 6 in 7 years including those won with Marseille and Leeds, the exception being the 1994-95 season which he had missed the second half of through suspension. United also reached the semi-finals of the Champions League, European Cup, their best run of form in the competition for 28 years. On May 18, 1997, shortly after the end of the 1996-97 season, Cantona caused a major shock when he announced his retirement from football. The decision was announced at a press conference at Old Trafford, at which he was not present, and came following several weeks after media reports suggested that he might soon be leaving the club. United manager Alex Ferguson later revealed in his autobiography that Cantona had in fact informed him of his intention to quit football the previous month. His final competitive game came against West Ham on May 11, 1997, and his final appearance before retiring was 5 days later on May 16 in a testimonial for David Bust, whose career had been ended by an injury suffered against United the previous year, against Coventry City at Highfield Road. Cantona had scored a total of 64 league goals for United, 13 in domestic cup competitions, and 5 in the Champions League, bringing his tally to 82 goals in less than 5 years. 55. After leaving. In 1998, the Football League, as part of its centenary season celebrations, included Cantona on its list of 100 league legends. Cantona's achievements in the English League were further marked in 2002 when he was made an inaugural inductee of the English Football Hall of Fame. Later in 1998, Cantona organised a match of Manchester United players against other players from around the world in what was originally designed to be a memorial for the victims of the Munich air disaster in 1958 and their families, but which was merged with a testimonial for Cantona himself. 92. An evening with Eric Cantona was held at the Lowry in Salford, Greater Manchester, in February 2017. Cantona being interviewed on stage. In his 1999 autobiography Managing My Life, Alex Ferguson claimed that Cantona had informed him of his decision to retire from playing within 24 hours of Manchester United's Champions League semi-final defeat to Borussia Dortmund, though the decision was not made public for almost a month afterwards. During that time, there had been speculation about his future at Manchester United, including talk of a move to Real Zaragoza of Spain. Returning to Britain in 2003 to pick up the Overseas Player of the Decade award at the Premier League 10 Seasons Awards, Cantona said of his premature retirement, "When you quit football it is not easy, your life becomes difficult. I should know because sometimes I feel I quit too young. I loved the game but I no longer had the passion to go to bed early, not to go out with my friends, not to drink, and not to do a lot of other things, the things I like in life." 93. In 2004, Cantona was quoted as saying, "I'm so proud the fans still sing my name, but I fear tomorrow they will stop. I fear it because I love it. And everything you love, you fear you will lose." 94. He was interviewed in a number 7's issue of Manchester United's official magazine, United, in August 2006, stating he would only return to United as number 1, meaning not return as assistant manager or coach, and would create a team like no other and play the way he thinks football should be played. However, Cantona opposed the ownership of Manchester United by the Glazer family and stated that he would not return to the club, even as a manager, while they were in charge. 95. In March 2014, Cantona was arrested and cautioned for an act of common assault on Regent's Park Road in Camden, North London. The victim did not require medical attention. 96. Cantona received the UEFA President's Award in August 2019. Dressed in a flat cap, he began by quoting William Shakespeare's King Lear, "As flies to wanton boys we are for the gods," before referencing science, war, and crime. 97. Similar to the response to his Seagulls press conference in 1995, the puzzled audience watched in silence. 97. International career. Cantona was given his full international debut against West Germany in August 1987 by national team manager Henri Michel. 98. In September 1988, angered after being dropped from the national team, Cantona referred to Michel as a bag of shit in a post-match TV interview and was indefinitely banned from all international matches. 99. However, Michel was sacked shortly after that, having failed to qualify for the 1990 FIFA World Cup. The new coach was Michel Platini and one of his first acts was to recall Cantona. Platini stated that whilst he was coach, Cantona would be selected for France as long as he was playing competitive top-class football. It was also Platini who had initiated Cantona's move to England to restart his career. France qualified for UEFA Euro 1992 held in Sweden, but failed to win a single game despite the strike partnership of Cantona and Jean-Pierre Papin. Platini resigned after the finals to be replaced by Gérard Houllier. Under Houllier, France failed to qualify for the 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States after losing their final qualifying game 2-1 at home to Bulgaria, when a draw would have sufficed. Houllier resigned and Aimé Jacquet took over. Jacquet began to rebuild the national team in preparation for Euro 96 and appointed Cantona as captain. Cantona remained captain until the Selhurst Park incident in January 1995 that led to his ban and captaincy being stripped. In addition, he lost his place to Zinedine Zidane, as Jacquet had revamped the squad with new players. Cantona, Papin, and David Ginola lost their places in the squad and were never selected for the French team again, thus missing Euro 96. 100. Though there was media criticism about Cantona's omission, as he was playing his best football in the Premier League, Jacquet stated that the team had done well without Cantona and that he wanted to keep faith with the players who had taken them so far. 101. In a 2015 interview with French radio network France Info, Cantona stated that had he still been involved with the national side, he would have extended his career to feature in the 1998 FIFA World Cup, held in Cantona's home nation. 102 Cantona still harbors resentment for the people at the head of his national team but also admiration for his adopted football country. At UEFA Euro 2004 and the 2006 FIFA World Cup, he supported England and not France. 103. Post-playing career. Acting career. Cantona, far right, at the premiere of Ken Loach's film Looking for Eric, 2009, at the 2009 Cannes Film Festival. Cantona focused his later career mostly as an actor in French cinema, having had his first role as a rugby player in Le Bonheur est dans le Prix, shot during his 1995 suspension from football. In the late 1990s, he accepted a role as a French ambassador in the English film Elizabeth, 1998. In 2002, he directed a short film, A Portmois ton amour. He guest starred as a mysterious barroom philosopher in independent British film Jack Says, released to DVD in September 2008. He co-starred as director Thierry Grimandi in French film, 2009, and was co-producer and a lead actor in Ken Loach's Palme d'Or nominated film Looking for Eric, 2009. He stars as the Corsican in the Danish western The Salvation, which premiered at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival on May 17, 2014. 104. In January 2020, Cantona played the King in the music video for Liam Gallagher's single Once. 105. Work with Nike and other companies. 1966 was a great year for English football. Eric was born. Nike slogan which appeared on billboards throughout England in 1994, referencing Cantona's birth, the same year England won the World Cup. 106. Cantona has frequently appeared in commercials for the sportswear company Nike. 107. 108. In 1994, he was involved in a Nike advertising campaign which featured a black and white image of himself in front of the English flag, with the caption, 66 was a great year for English football. Eric was born. 109. In 1996, he was the central figure in a Nike commercial titled Good vs Evil in a gladiatorial game set in a Roman amphitheater. Appearing alongside football players from around the world, including Ronaldo, Paolo Maldini, Luis Figo, Patrick Kluivert, and Jorge Campos, they defend the beautiful game against a team of demonic warriors, which ends with Cantona receiving the ball from Ronaldo, pulling up his shirt collar in his trademark style, and delivering the final line, au revoir, before striking the ball which punches right through the demon goalkeeper. 107. Since his retirement from professional football in 1997, Cantona has continued to appear in Nike commercials, often in a non-playing role. In 1997, he starred in Nike's Park Life commercial, set to the song Park Life by Blur, in which a group of pub league players playing amateur football at Hackney Marshes in East London are suddenly joined by top Premier League footballers, including Cantona, Ian Wright, David Seaman, and Robbie Fowler. 110. In 2000, Park Life was ranked number 15 in Channel 4's poll of the 100 greatest TV ads. 111. In a global Nike advertising campaign in the run-up to the 2002 FIFA World Cup entitled Secret Tournament, Cantona starred as the organizer of Underground Games, branded by Nike as Scorpion KO, in a commercial directed by Terry Gilliam, which takes place between football players such as Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Francesco Totti, Roberto Carlos and Hitoshi Nakata. 112. 113. In a Nike campaign ahead of the 2006 FIFA World Cup, Cantona appeared as the lead spokesman for the Joga Bonito organization, an association attempting to eliminate acting and fake play from football. 114. He also starred in a Eurostar commercial in 1996. 115. And an Irish Euro Millions advertisement in 2004. 116. In 2009, he featured in a British television advertisement for a new model of the Renault Laguna. 117. Beach soccer. Shortly after his departure from Manchester United in 1997, Cantona became captain of the France national beach soccer team, gaining an interest in the sport through his brother Joel, who was already a part of the France national side traveling the world to play matches. 118 Cantona continued his interest in beach soccer games in Southern Asia and at the inaugural Kronenburg Beach Soccer Cup in 2002, in Brighton, England. As a recognizable figure, Cantona was key to beach soccer's growth during the sport's early years, being a magnet for drawing in fans to beach soccer events 119 and also helping to promote the sport, saying in 2002, "Physically it is difficult, technically it is difficult, and tactically it's difficult too. We must work very hard, and train regularly together. Beach soccer has got everything needed to be a great sport." 120. He found considerable success as he managed and played in the French team, which won their first European title at the 2004 Euro Beach Soccer League. At the inaugural FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Rio de Janeiro in 2005, he was player-manager of the team and scored one goal in a 7-4 win against Spain. France ended up winning the tournament. This was Cantona's final year as a player. However, he continued to coach the France national team at the 2006 Beach Soccer World Cup, which finished third. In 2007, Cantona enjoyed another successful year as manager, taking France to fourth place in the World Cup and narrowly missing out on a second European title, finishing runners-up to Portugal after a 7-6 loss in the final of the 2007 Euro Beach Soccer League. The World Cup was held in France for the first time in 2008, however, Cantona was unable to make the top four after losing to Italy in the quarter-finals. After failing, as manager, to qualify France to the World Cup for the first time in 2009, Cantona's demise as head coach was sealed in 2010, as not only did France fail to qualify for the upcoming World Cup again, but Cantona also lead the national team to relegation from the top division of the Euro Beach Soccer League down to Division B. These series of disappointments lead to Cantona resigning as manager of France in 2011, 121 after almost 15 years involved in the team. In 2019, the magazine France Football placed Cantona fourth in an article named 10 Legends of Beach Soccer. 122. Brief stint with New York Cosmos. Cantona at Old Trafford with the Cosmos, August 5, 2011. New York Cosmos announced the Frenchman's return to football as their director of soccer on January 18, 2011. On arrival, Cantona described his role to the press as to help Cosmos regain the number one position in the United States and then, to become one of the best clubs in the world over the coming years. 123. Cantona was later fired by the club after a confrontation with a photographer, and in May 2015, he sued the Cosmos for nearly $1 million in back pay and a promised 4% equity share. 124-125 Cosmos rejected his claims, insisting that his role as director of soccer was largely ceremonial and that Cantona's true job was as a promoter and brand ambassador. 126-127 The two parties later agreed to dismiss the lawsuit, though terms of a settlement were not disclosed. 126. Style of play. He was renowned for his vision, passing, intelligence and playmaking skills, in addition to his eye for goal and powerful and accurate striking ability, which often saw him score from spectacular strikes and volleys. As such, he often played in a free, creative role between the midfield and forward lines throughout his career, acting as a deep-lying forward behind the main striker, due to his tendency to drop deep into midfield to retrieve the ball and orchestrate attacking plays, as well as his ability both to score goals and provide assists for teammates. However, Cantona was also capable of playing as a center forward, due to his ability to hold up the ball with his back to goal, although this was not his favored position, as an out striker, as an attacking midfielder, or even as a central midfielder on occasion. 128, 129, 130, 131, 132. He was also an accurate penalty and free kick taker. 133, 134. Due to his height, physique, positional sense, and heading accuracy, he was strong in the air. 129. He was known for being both mentally and physically tough, and was highly regarded for his strong, commanding, and charismatic personality, as well as his leadership qualities and bravery, which helped to alleviate pressure from his teammates. 135, 128, 129, 136. Cantona was known for turning up his collar during matches. Wayne Barton notes that he first wore his collar up in a Manchester Derby match on November 7, 1993, following United's elimination from Europe at the hands of Galatasaray, commenting, "One wonders if, in his own superstitious way, this was Cantona's way of calming that fire inside him after the trip to Turkey, a way to focus his thoughts on moving forward." 54, 136. When asked about the reason behind his famous on-field appearance, he commented, "I didn't plan it. During one game it was cold and my collar just stayed up. We won, so it became a habit to play with my collar up." 137. Cantona was a hard-working player, who also stood out for his defensive contribution off the ball, as well as his ability to start attacking plays after winning back possession. 129. He also drew praise in the media for his discipline and dedication in training. 138. Despite his talent and ability, he was also notorious for his aggression, confrontational behavior, volatile temper, and lack of discipline on the pitch, as well as his tendency to commit hard challenges, which made him a highly controversial figure in world football. 139, 140, 141, 142. While was known for being outspoken on a number of issues. 143. He was also accused in media of being arrogant. 109, 144. When he was asked whether Zidane or Platini was the greatest French player of all time, for example, he said, "No, it is me." 137. He drew criticism from certain pundits for being inconsistent at times. 145. And for his disappointing performances at international level. 146. And in European club competitions, as well as his lack of significant speed, which was particularly evident in his later career with his advancing age. 147, 148. Political views. Cantona called for a social revolution against the banks and encouraged customers of the major retail banks to withdraw their money on December 7, 2010 in protest at the 2008 financial crisis. This proposal became the basis of an online campaign calling for a bank run. 149. In January 2012, Cantona began trying to gather the 500 signatures from elected officials necessary for a bid for the French presidential election that year, in order to draw support for the homeless charity and campaign group Emaus. 150. Palestine. In June 2012, he signed a petition for the release of Palestinian footballer Mahmoud Sarsak, imprisoned without conviction by Israel in July 2009 and released on July 10, 2012. 151. In September 2025, Cantona made an appearance at the Together for Palestine charity fundraising event where he called for Israel to be suspended by FIFA and UEFA and urged clubs to refuse to play against teams from Israel. 152. He signed an open pledge with film workers for Palestine pledging not to work with Israeli film institutions that are implicated in genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people. 153. Personal life. Cantona married Isabelle Ferrer in 1987. They have 2 children together. They divorced in 2003. He married actress Rakita Brani in 2007. They have 2 children together. 154. Cantona's brother, Joel, is a former footballer who retired at a young age and went into acting. His cousin, Sasha Opinel, is a footballer. The Killer is a 2024 American action thriller film directed by John Woo, a remake of his 1989 Hong Kong film. The film stars Nathalie Emmanuel, Omar Sy, Sam Worthington, Diana Silvers, Eric Cantona, and said Takami. It follows a young contract killer, who refuses to murder a blind woman on the orders of her handler, and then gets confronted by their old colleagues and a determined detective. An adaptation of The Killer was in development since the 1990s, with various screenwriters and directors being involved but did not materialize. Afterwards, John H. Lee was announced to direct the adaptation in 2007, with Woo serving as the producer, but not materialize until 2015, when Woo took over the directing duties from Lee owing to the latter's commitments on other projects. Universal Pictures officially announced the project in 2017, with contributions from Brian Helgeland, Josh Campbell, and Matt Stuecken providing the screenplay. The film underwent several casting and screenplay changes, with the main character's role being gender-swapped, and Lupita Nyong'o was originally announced to play the lead before being replaced by Emanuel. Principal photography commenced from May 2023 and concluded by February 2024, despite the month-long hiatus due to the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. The Killer was released in the United States by the streaming service Peacock on August 23, 2024. It received mixed reviews and received numerous nominations at the Taurus World Stunt Awards. Plot: Z is a professional hitwoman living in Paris who is regularly employed by Finn, an Irishman working for crime lord Jules Gobert, to eliminate Gobert's rivals in the drug business. Her violent lifestyle has left her with few things to enjoy, including the friendship of an old high-class tailor named Tessie, who provides her with disguises for her jobs, keeping a goldfish, and solving crossword puzzles. In the underworld, she has become infamous as the Queen of the Dead. Finn contracts Z to kill the members of a drug gang from Marseille partying in a local nightclub where a young American singer named Jen Clark is performing. At about the same time, a police inspector named Say and his partner Jax try to arrest Jen's drug-dealing boyfriend Coco, but Coco escapes, injures Jax and takes a hostage, forcing Say to kill him. At the time of his death, Coco was listening to a demo recording of one of Jen's songs, leading Say onto Jen's trail. In spite of the gangsters receiving texts that Coco has been killed, Z eliminates them all, but in the carnage Jen hits the back of her head in a fall, causing her to go blind. Although obliged to kill all present, Z spares Jen as an uninvolved civilian. Upon learning this, Finn sends her to the hospital Jen is kept in to finish the job. Posing as a vice-consul from the US Embassy, Z gains access to Jen's room. Before Jen can be killed by the 4-drip Z has poisoned, Say enters to take Jen's statement about the nightclub murders, but due to her traumatic shock, Jen remembers little. Z pretends to accidentally knock over the 4 before it can kill Jen in front of Say. Say becomes suspicious of Z. Say connects Gobert to a recent theft of a large load of heroin from Arabian Prince Majeb bin Fahim, who is dealing with Gobert. However, his investigations are stymied by his superiors, who fear its impact on their careers, especially since some of the gangsters involved in both crimes were dirty cops working for Gobert. Additionally, it is revealed that Finn is responsible for the heroin theft since he intends to corner the Paris drug market for himself. Before Finn's thugs can assassinate Jen at the same hospital where Say is visiting Jax, Z arrives to take her to safety. During the resulting shootout, killing multiple staff and patients, Z and Say briefly meet face-to-face before Z escapes and takes Jen to her apartment. After Jen identifies Z as the killer from the nightclub, she reveals that she is not an uninvolved civilian, as she and Coco have stolen bin Fahim's heroin shipment from its original thieves, thus having set off the subsequent string of murders. Z meets with Finn and lies that she has eliminated Jen, but Finn later learns the truth. Say tracks Z down and has her arrested, and while questioning her, he learns that she was involved in one of his earlier cases against another drug dealer, thereby saving his life. Z escapes custody, only to find that Jen has been kidnapped by Finn's men, and learns from Tessie that he was coerced by a cop to inform him when Z contacts him. Gobert demands of Finn to have Z assassinate Ben Fahim for his failure to deliver, but Finn has Gobert killed instead. Then he arranges for Say to be framed, forcing him to go into hiding, and tasks Z with eliminating him, promising her and Jen's freedom in return. However, when Z sees Say meeting Jax at the appointed place and one of Finn's assassins waiting to kill her after her hit, she realizes the setup, kills the assassin, exposes Jax as being on Finn's take, and teams up with Say to bring Finn down. They retrieve the heroin Jen had stolen and arrange an exchange of the drugs for Jen at an abandoned church. The meeting results in a violent fight between Z, Say, and Finn and his assassins, during which the drugs are destroyed by an explosive charge set by Say and Jen recovers her sight. As Finn prepares to kill Z, she distracts him with a silly question, allowing Say to slide her a gun which she uses to shoot Finn. After secretly watching Jen being reunited with her mother, she calls Say, telling him that she is planning to change her life, and they share a light-hearted goodbye. Cast: Nathalie Emmanuel as Z, Omar Sy as Say, Sam Worthington as Finn, Diana Silvers as Jen Clark, Sid Takami as Prince Majeb Ben Fahim, Angelus Wu as Chi Mai, Eric Cantona as Jules Gobert, Chiqui Cario as Tessie, Gregory Montel as Jax, Hugo Diego Garcia as Coco, Michael Erpelding as Serge, Aurelia Agel as Juliet. Production. In 1992, American filmmaker Walter Hill and David Giler wrote a screenplay for TriStar Pictures titled The Killer that was dated April 6, 1992. The press release for this remake stated the script was written for actors Richard Gere and Denzel Washington. In June 1992, it was announced Walter Hill and Giler were writing a script titled Hong Kong based on The Killer with Hill directing. The producers had difficulty with the relationship between the two main characters in the script as they felt that American audiences would interpret it as a homoerotic one. Producer Terrence Chang, who worked with Wu on several productions, suggested to the American producers to have Hong Kong actress Michelle Yeoh play the role of the police officer to resolve any homoerotic reading of the film. A year later, screenwriters Jim Cash and Jack Epps, Jr. were hired by producers Charles Roven and Robert Cavallo to write a screenplay based on The Killer for TriStar, writing a third draft of the script dated on August 23, 1993, which featured a story of a Caucasian hitman living in Hong Kong. This screenplay moved the focus from the pairing of the hitman and the police detective characters to the characters of a blinded nightclub singer and the hitman. In October 2007, The Hollywood Reporter announced that a remake of The Killer was announced with Korean-American director John H. Lee directing. The remake would take place in Los Angeles' Koreatown, Chinatown, and South Central. Lee named The Killer as one of his favorite films and said he was excited to make his own version of the film.